abuse, domestic violence, and mental health. One of the things that we do, we take classroom activities in the home. So everything they get from us is home-based. We've been in existence for 20 years, because my son will be 21 this year, so we came in existence in 1998. We have 8 home visitors that provide the services. We serve, like I said, Jefferson, Walker, and St. Clair counties. You should have a brochure in front of you that explains our services. We give priority to people that are challenged by poverty, people that have any cases with the Department of Human Resources. We just want to be in the community and provide a service. And again, like I said, we're there. You have brochures. You have, if you have any questions for me, this is my first time doing this. I'm quite nervous, but I'm here and I believe in service. So when Ms. Tyson asked me to come and talk about our program, I could not say no, because I know that I'm a servant and I know that you all are also. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
And there's a book circulating around that will show you a little bit about what we do. And if you have questions, please feel free to ask them.
Yes, Ms. Ford, I would like y'all to know that this program goes into your home. And actually, it reads while the child is actually still being carried by the mother. That care starts then. And that's why it touched my heart. People are very concerned in the communities about early childbirth in poor areas. This program touches that. It educates your child from the very beginning. Once it is born, that's where they start the books and the colors and the programs and even guidance on how to be a parent and preparing those parents how to care for their little one. Thank you so much. I think this program is a blessing. I will promote it everywhere I go. And I will see you at the next event. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have Coach Howard here. Could you come up with Winona, basketball champions? Introduce your, bring your young men up.
First of all, I want to say good morning. Thanks for having us down. It's a pleasure, an honor to come representing Winona High School. Our principal, Dr. Willie Goldsmith, athletic director, Dr. Kimberly Evans. We had a successful season this year, very successful. And these guys had a great part to do with it. We finished up 31-5, finished up over a 2-year span. We made the Final Four last year, completed the deal this year. State champions, ranked number 1 in the state in our classification, number 2 in the state overall, regardless of classification. The number 1 team we beat, which was Mount Brook, consecutive years. We also finished up with the top 50 ranking in the country. We finished up at number 45 in the nation. So it just goes a testament to these guys' hard work and dedication. They're great students, great character, and some awesome guys. Come from great parents, great homes. And you can't say enough about these guys. I would like to also, we have two guys on our team, Justin Minner and Cameron Tucker, which are first team all-state performers. Cameron Tucker is 5A player of the year. Jarvis Minner is our all-defensive team player. We also have Jadarius Eatman. And with all that being said, we have 3 guys that are going to school playing on full athletic scholarships. Cameron Tucker has signed with the University of Alabama A&M. Jadarius Eatman signed with Florida State College in Jacksonville. And Justin Minner has signed with Mississippi Gulf Coast in Mississippi. So these guys have done an excellent job over the years, and I'm super proud of them. Once again, thank you. Thank you so much for having us. Oh, once again, my assistant coach, Coach Dwayne Marable in the back. Come on, Coach, stand up with us, man. It's a good group of guys. Some of them not here. They stay at finals and things, but thank you all so much for having us down. We appreciate it.
And you're 5A?
5A, yes sir. 5A state champion.
come and introduce themselves and tell you which school they're going to, the classification.
My name is Justin Mitchell, and I'm going to University of Mississippi Gulf Coast.
Is that Perkinson campus?
Yes, sir.
My name is Darius Eatman. I'm going to Florida State College at Jacksonville.
I'm Jarvis Minton, I'm going to Alabama State University.
My name is Cameron Tuck, and I'll be attending the University of Alabama A&M.
My name is Alec Howard. I graduated in 2021.
My name is Darius Hooper, and I graduated in 2020.
So one are you going to Alabama A&M, one going to Alabama State?
When I tell you I am so proud of these young men, they have accomplished so much, not only as an athlete, but their grades, their achievements, and I want you to know that the public schools are actually teaching our children. You know, we get so much flack about the grades of the school, but they never talk about the individual child. These children have exceeded within their class and in their sports. So we're going to follow these kids. We always follow our kids on the southwest side of town. We make sure they get what they need before they leave. And I am so proud of you. Here's a resolution that's signed by all 5 of the commissioners. We are proud of you and we are here for you. You know, but I want you, when you graduate and y'all get all of those major league or major, what it is, basketball contracts, I want y'all to come back and give back to the community. I know you do, because they do community service. The requirement of this basketball coach is that these young men do community service. And see, that's the difference. They are giving back now. So I know when they become millionaires, they will be more than happy to come back and give back to the city of Birmingham and Jefferson County.
Coach, I just want to say thank you for being a mentor to these young men and making them what they are today. Now, to be champions takes hard work, don't it, fellas?
Yes, sir.
All right.
And they so tall.
You should put me down there if you want them to look tall. And I was lucky enough to attend the Pinson Educational Foundation meeting the other night, presented the Pinson Valley High School Indians a proclamation for their championship in 6A. So, congratulations.
We also beat them too.
When they told me I was fruit, they
So I was gonna say, Coach and players, if you can stand back up. I want to say congratulations to you too. I think that they're very awesome students who just happen to be athletically inclined in Birmingham City Schools. I want to thank you all for sticking in there. Sometimes you don't have access to a lot of things that maybe other schools have, but you make the best of it. So I want to say to you, Coach, assistant coach, congratulations on a job well done. And for you gentlemen, I like the fact that I hear that you're going to somebody else's college. That someone's college, let me just say that. That's very important, because you can't even flip a hamburger right now without a bachelor's degree just about. So the fact that you wanted to go to school, go there and make the best of it. And for those who are getting ready to not necessarily leave, I heard 20 and 2021. So that means I'm hearing like 10th and 11th grade. Is that what I heard? Okay. So I look forward to great things from you all. And let me just say, as a commission, Winona has done a fantastic job with their girls and boys basketball team. So I'm glad that Commissioner Tyson brought you before us today, and you all are a beautiful group and good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you, John. All right. We're going to deviate from the agenda just a little bit. Commissioner Scales at a 10 o'clock appointment. She can't miss, and I would like for her to be able to participate in the majority of the meeting. So I'm going to skip the public hearings right now and go to the approval of the minutes.
Move we dispense the reading of the minutes and the document is written.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you very much. Commissioners, you have 59 resolutions before you. They were properly vetted on Tuesday of this past week. Is there any, Tuesday this week, is there any that a particular commissioner would like to set aside for separate consideration?
Mr. President, if we can do, I only had a question as relates to 12 and 13, but if we can just, matter of fact, if we can do 12 and 13, if I can get the answer, then we can move on. But otherwise, if we can just pull those off, we're going to be long discussion about it. I just want to get clarification on those two.
You will hold 12 and 13 for separate review.
Yes, sir.
So I understand your motion is to approve 1 through 59 with those two helpful separate.
Yes, sir.
So, have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Thank you very much. Now, okay.
Yes, sir. So on item 12, and if I'm reading this correctly, we're extending the term of this agreement. Obviously, this is already an existing agreement. Is that correct? Okay.
It is.
Okay. And so on number 13, when we said about advertising for a health fair, is that event we've always had?
We've had some, I don't know how many.
You had one last year.
This is an annual event, and I think it's in our 3rd or 4th year now. And we sponsor it there with in partnership with a number of other health providers, including the health department, et cetera.
And only thing I was going to ask is, which is not going to stop me from supporting it today, but just had an inquiry as it relates to the one medium that you all chose to use. Is how did you get to that? But that won't stop it. You can talk to me off the record about it. I noticed that you got Summit Media.
Yes.
And so I said medium because I was trying not to say the name of the company.
Okay.
Like, how did you get to just using that one medium? That's all.
Because they basically organize and sponsor these events, and we enter into a partnership with them.
Mm-hmm. Is it a cost to us?
Yes.
12.5.
We do we do a bunch of advertising over various mediums, including print as well as broadcast. They organize all that. So
okay,
they sub out
Summit
some work.
Media takes care of print too?
No, we do the print. Yeah, they got brochures out. Yes.
They're mostly radio or digital.
That's
yeah,
correct.
I know.
Yes.
That's why I was
Yes.
asking.
Mm-hmm. And then we supplement it because we like to get our brand out there a little more.
And Commissioner Scales, I talked to Ms. Hayes about that, and I sent several black media companies to her, and they filled out their paperwork. Actually,
So
once
then
I
they
sent-
should be included next year?
Yes.
Yes.
When I seen it. And thank you so much, Ms. Hayes.
Okay, very good.
Move 12 and 13.
All right, second?
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. That takes care of the business part of our agenda. Now let's go to the public hearing. We have 6 items we're going to review today. The first of which is a zoning case 2019003 Veterinary Partners LLC. Requires a change in zoning for parcel property on section 34, township 18, range 2 west, from C1 commercial with covenants to C1 commercial and amended covenant for indoor personal storage facility.
All right, yes, as you say, this is a request to go from C1 to C1. This is in the Acton Road area, and this property was rezoned a number of years ago for commercial use for a emergency veterinary clinic. The clinic and at the time the Planning Commission was concerned with preserving the character of the area and allowed only that one use on the property. They are now going out of business or have gone out of business, and another party wants to purchase it for a storage facility. In recent years, the two properties immediately to the south of this have also been developed as mini storage facilities that have been reviewed for architectural review and site plan review by the Planning Commission to again help preserve the character of the area. There was no opposition to this request, and the Planning Commission has recommended approval with, again, site plan and architectural plan approval going to the Planning Commission and exterior lighting shielded and directed downward.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to open a public hearing in case Z2019003. Is there anyone in the audience who speak in favor of or in opposition to this particular zoning issue? Seeing none, public hearing is now closed.
Move the item.
Second.
Item's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Thank you very much. Next is another zoning case, Z2019004. Miguel Robert Arago Garcia and Linda Raquel Mauricio Rodriguez, owners of request a change in zoning in section 6, township 15-1, range 1 west, from A1 agricultural to C1 commercial for a car and auto repair.
Yes, this is a parcel in the extreme northern portion of the county on Highway 79. This is a parcel that actually had been C1 commercial in the past. Owners came and requested a rezoning to A1 agriculture for a residence. It was rezoned at that time, and now there's a new owner who wants to turn it back to C1. They intend to put a car lot and auto repair shop there. It does comply with the plan for the area. There was a concern about impact to a nearby property, and the Planning Commission addressed that by recommending approval, but with a 35-foot natural buffer along the south and east property lines, and also exterior lighting being directed downward, and exterior lighting be turned off by 10 p.m. so that it does not affect the surrounding community.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I'd like to open a public hearing on Z2019004. I see that the applicant is here, but there is no opposition that has requested to speak. So is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak in favor of or in opposition to this particular zoning change? There being none, public hearing is closed.
Move the item.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. We have next case, Z2019008, VP and A owners. Rodney Shiflett, agent, requests a change of zoning on parcel in Township 16, Section 3, Township 16, Range 3 West, for compliance for an existing parking area for a convenience store. Go ahead.
Yes, this is on Mount Olive Road, the Mount Olive area. There is an old gas station on the property that has been closed for a number of years. It is substandard for modern standards. The new owner has acquired this property and the property adjacent to it, and is requesting that he take part of the A1 property and add it to the gas station in order to bring the gas station up to more modern standards. He wants to do some food sales there and a drive-through, and need additional parking. So there is no opposition to this, and it does conform to the land use plan. The Planning Commission did recommend approval with a covenant for establishing controlled access to the property. Right now, it's wide open access. For exterior lighting to be directed downward, and for a privacy fence in addition to a buffer on the south property line, because there are residences to the south. And any drive-through operations would cease at 9 p.m. in order not to affect the properties to the south.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Williams, on these kind of cases, and I know this is a zoning case, but is there any requirement that they show proof that the underground storage tanks for their gasoline is in compliance?
We don't have anything, any regulations about that. That is handled entirely by ADEM. And you probably noticed there are a lot of gas stations in recent years who've been digging up their tanks and installing new ones. And ADEM does inspect that, and they do soil testing too.
Okay, so this property, it doesn't have the old tank on it, right?
Actually, they have new tanks. They installed new tanks recently, and you can, if you go out there, you see the paving, the new paving where the tanks are.
Those are the other.
Second.
Oh, wait a minute, we didn't vote.
Go ahead. All right, we in Commissioner, I want to tell you about the Jefferson County Department of Health has initiated an inspection program on underground tanks. You may not even be aware of it.
No, I'm not.
It's they charge. It's $110 a year to go out and inspect each facility who has underground tanks, and that's payable to the Jefferson County Department of Health, and they monitor the compliance and make sure that all that's done properly. Found that out myself, so that's good news. Like to open a public hearing, case Z2019-008. I see the applicant has signed. Also, is there anyone else in the audience who would like to speak for or against this particular zoning issue? There being none, we're going to close this public hearing. Now, Joe.
Move it.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Very much. Next is case Z2019-009, Greg Frank Wood, Michael Wood, and Deborah K. Hastings, owners. Michael Wood is the applicant, requests a change in zoning on parcel ID 3834-301-001-000 in section 34, township 19, range 4 west from A1 to RG. And C1 for a commercial out parcel to house warehouses and RV storage facility. Site only. 3050 Hayward Road. Ed?
Okay. This is a case that has come before us a total of 4 times. This is the 4th time. The first time it was approved as a planned unit development, and which has an automatic sunset clause after 2 years. And that this was moving into the recession, and it did expire. They came back, rezoned it again. Again, the recession was here, and it was not developed. They came again, and it was also a bad time, and so they're here again to have the same thing approved. This would be an 87 lot residential development in Jefferson County, but also adjoins another part of the subdivision that is in the city of Bessemer. If you look at the map, you'll see the red hatched area is all floodplain. Over 60% of this site would actually be in preserved floodplain area. So the lots will not, or do not for the most part, touch that area. The history of this site is that you can see there the little piece taken out of the property in the south. That is a Jefferson County pumping station. Jefferson County built the road to the pumping station and built it to the standards of a subdivision in order to accommodate what was anticipated to be future development. They also installed lateral sewer lines in the area. There was some opposition from people in the area who were concerned with the traffic along the Hedrick Road. And the Planning Commission took that into consideration and has recommended approval with covenants that would remove all lots from touching the 100-year floodplain, that Hedrick Road be improved as specified in a letter in 2019 from the Bessemer City Engineer to the owners of the property, and that the road would be improved to those standards, that the existing sewer lines be inspected and the design coordinated to ensure the existing infrastructure will be adequate because the lines have now been there a number of years, and that exterior lighting in conjunction with the commercial development, which is right to the south of the property across the gas easement, that the lighting be shielded and directed downward.
Mr. Williams, when did we install those lateral lines? If this thing's been here 4 times and they can't seem to get their act together to do this.
That's largely because of the economy. The lines, I'm not sure when they were installed. The owner probably could give us a date on that. It would be before 2007.
I guess it's early 2000s.
Okay.
And do we anticipate having to do anything to them, Mr. Denner?
That's what we got to see. They'll have to TD inspect them and find out if they can do anything to bring them up to code before they can start connecting to them.
Will we have to add anything to what we've already put in?
No, we don't have any commitments to do anything other than what we already did.
How many lateral lines run off of that in that parcel? Do we know?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, like to open a public hearing case Z2019009. I see the applicant is here, and I see that we have 2 people who have voiced opposition and would like to speak against this: Christopher McDaniel and James Booth.
That'd be James Booth, sir.
All right. Mr. Wood, would you like to address this before we begin?
Mr. Stevens, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. I'm prepared to answer any questions that you have. Quite frankly, I don't remember us bringing this 4 times. I think we brought it 2 times. I don't remember the other 2, to be honest with you.
Well, this is the full.
Okay, well, it's never been denied, but the reason we didn't do it back in '09 was because the economy got us. We had the entire project sold to a contractor, and we lost our contract, so we just elected not to develop it at that time. And because we had done it under your R7 zoning, it had a revision clause that because we didn't start the project, that it reverted back. So what we're asking for today is exactly what we got approved for in '09, but we're doing it under an RG zoning because there is no revision clause in that zoning, but it's the exact same plan.
Okay. Thank you.
But I'll answer any questions you might have.
Is this residential only?
No, sir. There is a section, I don't know if you can see this, but this part up here is in Bessemer.
Okay.
This part down here is in the county. Your pumping station that you have is right here.
Okay.
There's a gas line right here that's about 75 feet. This part right over in here, we don't think is suitable for residential because it's so close to the pumping station and the odor that would come off the pumping station.
We have no odors in our
Oh,
plant.
yeah. Okay. But anyway, so that's why we chose to, because we thought that was the highest and best use, because what we're proposing then is some kind of RV storage down there, and people don't stay down there. They'll park the RVs or they'll store some stuff and they'll leave. That's the only reason we just chose to do that there, because we didn't think it was suitable for residential.
When you brought this the other 2 times, or however many times we've been here?
Yes, sir.
Was this part of that plan?
Yes, sir, it was. I think there was a misunderstanding by some of the residents that it wasn't, but this is the same drawing that we did in '09.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
So let me ask you this, sir. For what year, the development, if this happened in '09, is there for any reason, how did the community feel about this development at that time?
They weren't in favor of it in '09 either.
Okay, is there any particular reason that was brought to your attention as to why?
Well, I just don't think they want the density, quite frankly.
Okay, so how wide is that road that
Oh,
you're talking about developing? The area?
it's a standard road. It's 27. It's on a 50-foot right of way and it's 27 feet. This road here, was installed.
Mhm.
It's there. It's currently on the ground. You can see it on the map, but it's in place. And when we did it, we did a joint venture with the county to put this road in here because the pumping station at one time had two ways of getting, or two lines coming out of it. Had a line coming this way and a line coming this way. Well, they elected to omit this line this way, and that was their entrance into the pumping station. So when they omitted it, they didn't have a way to get to it. So we worked a deal out with the county where we gave them the property to put the road in. They paid for part of the road and we paid for part of the road, and it matched up our subdivision plan exactly. So it was a win-win for the county and a win for us also. And we put in the sewers and the storm, and the county put in the paving on it. They had to pave the road down there, so the road is in.
So let me ask you something. Is that a 2-lane road?
Yes, ma'am. It's a standard subdivision road.
The
Now, there
reason why I'm asking is because anytime you add to the density and population, and according to what I heard earlier, you did mention that this is going to have some commercial entity or part of this development. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
So I'd be interested, and maybe this is not a question for you, in terms of how would the traffic be in that location? What would that look like? I would think once you add the density and you add the business component of it as well, that's going to be a lot of traffic going on a 2-lane road, which
Okay.
I would tend to think would be congestive.
Well,
So,
I can answer that question, ma'am.
sure.
We had a traffic study done by Skipper, and y'all have a copy of it. They said that the roads are adequate. Now, there is a section of road that is about 400 feet here that was in question. It's narrower, and we end up going to the courts, and the courts established a right-of-way on that particular road. And that's the only section of the road that is actually is too small. Even the city of Bessemer says it's too small. And in their requirement and your requirement too is that we enlarge that 430 feet before we can build more than 55 houses. That's what Bessemer said. Y'all's planning commission said that we had to widen the road, and there's only 430 feet of road before any houses could be built for y'all. So that particular road will have to be widened, and we will widen it to what the city of Bessemer says it has to be widened to. And we've got that in writing with a letter from the city of Bessemer to you guys.
So my last question is this. Are there any curbs on those roads since this is coming through a residential community?
This?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. This is a regular subdivision road. It's already in place.
But it has curbs.
It has curb and gutter, it has storm sewer, it has all the things that your subdivision regulations require. It was built by you for subdivision regulations.
But but of course, in all honesty, sir, a subdivision in addition to commercial, it brings in it brings in a whole different aspect to a project when you're talking about a mixed use. If it's residential, that's one set of rules, but if you're combining the two, it just seemed to me that would be a highly congested area. And I would want to hear from one of our folk as to how do we work that? Because if you live in that community, that has to be a concern. You have commercial trucks that are coming through that area, then that means that they're there to do business. And I would expect that the traffic would increase tremendously as well, but I'm not the expert. That's why I'm kind of asking you. But I think maybe someone on our end who deals with the traffic control component of it can be able to help me to better have an understanding of what's going on.
Well, again, we had a very thorough traffic study done. And this was part of the traffic study that was done. And they have said, as well as the city of Bessemer have said, that the roads that are here or we're going to be built are adequate to handle the traffic.
Let
So
me
it
ask you
has been done.
Yes, sir.
Let me just ask a follow-up question. You've got office warehouses. How many are you gonna build and how big and what is an office warehouse?
Well, it's just our idea is, and this is just it is to store RVs where people can't store them in their homes because their homeowner associations don't allow it. And we're talking about 4 or 5 metal buildings that are maybe 4,000 square feet, something like that. We don't have an exact plan. No, sir, we don't.
Okay, but you also, in my notes, I have to house office warehouses and RV storage, so.
Well, that's just, that was kind of the intent of what we thought it might work. We were trying to find a use for the property, quite honestly.
How big of an area?
It's about 2 acres. And we didn't think residential would work simply because it's so close to the pumping station. And it might. I mean, is that what the commission would prefer? We'll change it, put to residential. We just think it's going to be a difficult sell to sell houses next to that pumping station.
How many houses are you gonna put in this area?
There's 179 lots laid out. We've already got planned for this, and that includes the Bessemer side. My count was 94 in the county. I think Michael Morrison's was 87. And quite honestly, it has something to do with how this particular layout that we've done, whether or not the lot is partially in the county and partially in Bessemer, who takes the, who owns it, which it falls under what inspection services. So I think there's a little bit of gray area there. So we're actually just asking for zoning today, and then whatever the subdivision regulations will require, we'll have to follow those.
Let me ask you this. You said something about that Bessemer part of the road is not wide enough to do what you need to do.
There is a section, 430 feet of the Bessemer Road. Now, it's about maybe a 3/4 mile road, and only 430 feet of that road, and that's Hedrick Drive that comes into here. This is the end of Hedrick Drive. It starts at Hopewell and meanders down, and there's a section about 430 feet that has to be widened in order for this to be. But the rest of the Hedrick Drive is adequate, and it's in our traffic study has said that.
But you said something about you didn't have to widen that until you got to 55 lots.
The traffic study says that after the 55th house, it needed to be widened.
Okay.
Y'all's requirement is that no houses can be built in Jefferson County until it's widened.
Okay.
Bessemer's agreement is that we could build 55 before it's widened.
So you could build 55 houses down in the county portion before you widen it?
In Bessemer, not the county. The agreement from the planning commission was the road had to be widened before any houses were a CO on any of the houses. I guess it's a CO.
But you have to go through the Bessemer part to get to the county part, right?
Yes, sir, but I've got lots here and I have lots here that are already ready to go because this road is already in place. So I could build, some houses here. We don't intend to. We intend to, when we go out here and develop this, we're gonna fix the road coming in. That's our intention. And so y'all's agreement is that we have to do it that way, and that's fine.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. All right, we have those in opposition. Do we have a spokesperson?
You do, James Booth.
Come up and give your name and address and state your position.
My name's James Booth. I live in this community. I live on Pack Drive, as the gentleman, Mr. Wood, said.
And where is Pack Drive in relation to this property?
Hedrick Drive is an entranceway off of Hopewell Road. In the Hedrick Drive entrance, we today have entrance problems if vehicles standing at that entranceway. If you're coming from four-way stop sign, you cannot possibly even get in there if the vehicle don't move. From the Morgan Road side, yes, you have swing room. So Hedrick comes down, as you can see on the map, and Pack goes to the right. I own the seconds in there. And so therefore, Pack Drive goes out and that ends. Which now in mailing, they want to say road. I do not know definition change and why it occurred except a 2005 judge ordered of, I think, might be mistaken, of Dan King, that there is a prescription of a 430 road that he acknowledges through prescription, if y'all have those papers of this judgment ordered, and as to date and as before date, the asphalt is not but 17 feet wide. For it was an easement that come off of Hedrick and Pack intersection, and because of some interest of money, greed, they want to proclaim and take land of an easement that was already given. They want to take more land, whom I know nobody has been notified of this judge ordered thing that is implied. There's 3 property owners, and as a matter of fact, there's about 6 property owners, which might be evil. However, that was an easement given. So therefore, that road then narrows at entrance up here at Hedrick. I measured, I have pictures of 22 feet. Coming to the top side, come down the curve. The curve is 22 feet. Now we're going to take some, well, you talk about some construction trucks. My God, what kind of construction trucks is supposed to come in for? There's only one entrance to Pack Drive, which is Hedrick. And that's where that concerns me. Because I won't be able to get in. I won't be able to do my agricultural work. I do. I have pictures. My truck won't pass the hay truck. Do you know what this subdivision?
Do you have any pictures?
I do.
Maybe we see those.
You'll find this interesting. Last meeting, I talked to wilderness. I talked for wildlife. I talked for the concerns of the environment, as well as to the people. Today, I'm speaking only of the people, but yet I'm going to give you a presentation. I have folders Michael giving out. I wish for Michael, if he would, to give these folders around to the people.
I believe all of these are already in your packet.
If they are, we can go ahead and
I
walk
think
through
you'll
those.
find
Now,
there's been new things going on since we got this more things going on. So one script there. Page up.
Yeah, I'm saying that, more interested in the width of the road with the, to get in and get out of it. See what's there.
I have a question. Did anybody get any empty binders? Everybody got pictures?
I don't have one with a hay truck.
You got one hay truck.
You got one with a hay truck? Okay.
Oh, that's different.
We got different pictures then, I guess. Yeah.
Well, you know, things change. And if y'all made agreement last time to let y'all said ayes when I was told I did a good presentation. I didn't do myself a well enough presentation for the community for y'all voted aye. It should have been a no.
When was that?
That was paid, that would have been April the 11th of this year, last month. And then was here last year.
No, wait just one second. This is the first time this has come before this commission.
Oh, no, sir. Oh, it come in 2005. Well, really, I think it come before then.
This commission, Mr. Booker,
Sir?
this commission.
I wasn't here in 2005.
No one here was.
Well, you know, that's a problem that's happened in Bessemer. Those people wasn't there neither when this here was approved for the Bessemer section. And then they say the traffic has not changed in 15 years. The road has not changed. It's not deteriorated. You see pictures of road deterioration. Everybody knows in 15 years there's going to be deterioration. There's overgrowth. Well, we cannot pass ourselves currently past each other in this road of entrance hardly. It just, the road goes 22 feet. Come down around the curve, the next section is 19 feet, 18.6.
Is that the part Mr. Wood said that they got widen?
No, sir. That goes down from the Hedrick down, that's before it's Pack Drive intersects. I don't know if you got a picture with the fire truck and the ambulance with no passage. I have my truck behind it and I have to run into bushes to get around. And if you don't, I have a phone here that's got plenty of pictures. I'll be glad to pass and show the picture. And that ambulance and the fire truck is at right before the entrance of Pat Drive. It is the corner house. There's a fire truck where we have elderly people there. They frequently need fire attention, medical attention, emergency. And so they come out. There's a man and a woman both there. They come get him, they come get her on different ends. You cannot drive through there when they are there. And now that is just as the entranceway now, be it you, that this judge ordered a 430 feet from the intersection of Pack Drive Center, which he now named Pack Road for some reason, and then made that easement to be a road. So now we got we have Hedrick Road. So a traffic study is done of what? I would love to see this traffic study, as all you should. Is it of the 430 feet that has 2 houses that were current and given the easement for 2 houses built? 4 houses to drive on 430 feet. What of the rest of the Hedrick? As I said, it's 18.6 feet. I think the engineers came out and got the measure, and I finally got somebody to stand up and listen. But that's what it is. Now, be it that we get to the 230 feet that we speak of, or 430 feet. Why, that is 17 feet wide. So, this judge ordered and precipitated a land, he says, as prescription, it says, of 20 feet. Get your tape measure and come right up and see if I'm measuring wrong. It's 17 feet. I have a picture. You go that 430 feet, that's where the hay truck is. Do you know where my truck's sitting? It's sitting in subdivision road. Do you know how wide that road is as y'all built? Y'all built this 14 feet. 14 feet wide. Yes, sir. Y'all get a tape measure, come ride with me. 14 feet wide. And you got your concrete spillway. You did not build up the man's yard. The Pattersons give you an easement right. And then the Wood's going to give you a deeded right to get on down there so that you work with them. And put in them a subdivision way. Before even anything's discussed. When was this done? Not 2009. It was done like 2005. When was that subdivision built in the county? Y'all can look it up. I have to work. I come in work boots. I got time. That's why the community's not here. So at our first meeting, we had the benches back here cornered of all the community people here. But this is here knocking them 4 times. Yes. We can't afford it. We're working people. The agricultural work we do, it goes in denial for us to keep coming up here. I said when I first spoke here 3 times ago, why are we wasting our time? That's what I said. Why are we wasting our time? For this subdivision, 14 foot wide. The drains is in, the drain holes are open, kids can fall in right now. While there's environmental that I showed of manholes open, of this open deadline.
Mr. Book, you're stating it as it is now.
It is now.
All right, now, we need to know why your opposition to the improvements and the building the lots. Now,
The opposition of improvement of the roadway, 430 feet.
Okay.
All right, that goes from Pack Drive and Pack Drive southeast. Is it south? It goes south toward this development. So they needed that 430 feet to be. That's the hay barns there. That has hay in it. There's the Pattersons you'll see on this that's scoped out. Then you have the development that they have of Vesper. The Vesper, this other side that's not in orange, is the Vesper supposedly approved 15 years ago, which needs to be reevaluated for things that's come to change evidently because they're trying to have commercial and everything else in here now. So, but 430 feet, which I believe is the traffic study section. What of the traffic study section, is there any that can be provided that goes for Pack Drive, southeast, which we depend on Hedrick Road, which here it says Hedrick Road up through there. It should be Hedrick Road down below Pack Drive, and it should be Hedrick Drive, just as Mr. Wood stated. At the intersection was Hedrick Drive and Pack Drive. I believe that's what he stated when he was speaking. So what is Pack Drive, which now, and my melon's Pack Road. Same thing, at the road sign at that corner intersection says Hedrick Drive, Pack Drive. At the intersection of Hopewell Road says Hedrick Drive. I have pictures on my phone if any wish to look. And that's what it is. You can go today and see it. So that comes down. Now, when you enter into that subdivision, there's 14-foot asphalt. How does even the commercial trucks to build such a division won't even pass themselves what they're building in 14 feet? Where you got the sewers. You got a sewer down the middle of the road, which wasn't even approved. Michael's done studied into it. It was misdone, and he said he couldn't even see how he could approve this. For he looked into it and he found a lot of corruption in this design. Names were recognized.
You found what?
Names recognized of corruption. Yes, sir. They are not in office. As of the judge, I believe it is.
Mr. Booth, don't talk yourself out of your...
I understand, sir. But this here should not be, we should not waste no more time. Our community cannot, in order to make happen what has to happen, there's no way for you'll be up in 3 homes to 4 in their walkway.
How many houses are in that community?
31.
Joe, if you look at traffic count right now is 333 a day for everyone, and then they're projecting 1550. And it's part of our book in the Skipper traffic analysis. Ms. Booth, thank you for your
Yes, sir.
comments today. Ms. Corrigan, would you like to speak? Or, no. Yeah, that's 2004.
I'm Crystal McDaniel.
Yeah, you used to be a Corrigan.
I did. 2164 Hedrick. The 430 feet south of Pack Drive that they're speaking of is mine. It belongs to me. They're wanting to widen the road. I have no problem with progress, none at all. But when you're talking about taking 17 feet of my property, my trees, you got to cut down. The land runs down. It already holds water. My property already holds water when it rains, especially when it rains real hard. What are they gonna do about that? I mean, I understand they're gonna widen the road. What are they gonna do about the drainage? What are they gonna, the Hedrick Road, they're talking about improving from Pack Drive down. It's not, if any of y'all rode out there, you could see that it is not suitable for traffic. If someone is sitting at the end of Hedrick, like Mr. Booth said, no one can turn in onto Hedrick off of Hopewell without someone having to back up or leaving.
You talk about when Hedrick intersects
Hedrick,
Hopewell?
and yes, sir. Yes, sir. If you're say I'm sitting at the end of Hedrick, waiting to turn on to Hopewell, and someone is trying to turn on to Hedrick, I either have to back up or go on out so someone else can turn in. I mean, it's just not wide enough for two vehicles to come. And he says the traffic study, it's really not, if anybody knows, if y'all would come out and look, it really isn't. You're talking about, what, 179 houses? That's 400 cars extra a day, at least.
No, it's actually about 9. 11, no, it's 1,100.
1,100 cars a day on that little bitty road. It just don't make any sense to me. I mean, most of that is floodplain. I know y'all know that. I've lived there all my life. My mom and dad moved there in the late 50s. And I own, like I said, the whole 430 feet that they're talking about widening. I have a petition here signed by the neighbors, the community, against this subdivision because of the traffic, and especially in RVs in and out. You really aren't going to be able to pass an RV in a car, not just the 430 feet, but the whole Hedrick Road. It's been Hedrick Drive my whole life up until 2005, when they changed it to Hedrick Road.
Who changed?
I have a judgment here from, and I can't read who the judge is. I'm assuming it might have been Dan King. My dad fought this with his dad, with Mr. Wood's dad, years and years ago. I have an abstract deed. When they went to court, the judge told Mr. Wood, his dad, that with an abstract deed, he has he told him he had no leg to stand on. And back in 2005, my dad was still alive. He didn't know anything about the hearing, the court where they were suing the city of Bessemer, the Wood family against the city of Bessemer to do the 430 feet of Hedrick. And you would have thought with my dad owning all that, he would have had to be notified. Well, he wasn't. But I mean, y'all are going to make your decisions on what you're going to make it on. I'm just here to say, if you would just ride out there and look, you can see that is not from Hopewell all the way to the end of my property is not feasible for 1,500 cars a day. I have 8 grandchildren that play out there. And 1,500 cars a day, would y'all want your grandkids playing? I don't think so. But y'all make whatever decision you need to make.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else? We did receive some. Yeah. Yes, it is. Anyone else? Public hearing is now closed.
Although we take this under advisement, we got some more work to do, I think. Some more information, so move that we pass it.
I'll second that. Motion's been made and seconded that we obtain more information before a decision is made. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Pass unanimously.
Thank you.
what this will be is that we will go back. I know that there's some issues with the city of Bethlehem they got with. So really the ball is in their court right now. And we will get with them and get our zoning and our roads fixed. They need to be involved in this also. And David, that'll give you an opportunity to see what laterals and all we have on the sewer and what will be required there. All right, thank you very much. Appreciate your participation.
Did we get a copy of that case, that 2005 case?
Yeah.
Find out what this.
Yeah, the law, yeah, and I think that the change in the road had nothing to do more than Judge King saying it was the secret roads that had to drive. So, you can imagine that. Okay. Our next case is Z2019010, Georgian Gilmore owner, Amos Reese agent, change of zoning in the Gilmore survey. Section 26, Township 17, Range 6 West, from A1 to light industrial.
Yes, this case came up because of a mistake where an industrial property or industrial building was built slightly on another piece of property, and this is to correct that. There's a subdivision case associated with it to transfer that piece of the property to the industrial use. And then this case is just to rezone that small portion of the property. It does not really affect any adjacent properties. The Planning Commission did recommend approval.
This time I'd like to open a public hearing on Z2019010. Anyone in the audience speak in favor of opposition to this? There being none, public hearing is closed. Chair will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Thank you very much. Next is case Z2019011. Kimberly Merritt, Cynthia Hutto, and Joe Williams on it.
This is a not dissimilar case in that this is an old property with two zonings on it. They're C3 and A1 agriculture. The owners have conveyed the C3 portion of the property to someone else for a bar, and the property lines do not line up perfectly with the C3 zoning, which is quite old. So this is just to clear that up. There's a subdivision case associated with it, and the C3 then would conform to the new property lines, and the A1 would conform to the new property lines. No opposition, and was recommended for approval.
Is this anywhere near Hedrick Road?
Not to my knowledge.
Thank you for that comment. At this time, I'd like to open a public hearing, case Z2019011. Anyone in opposition or in favor of this particular zoning? Public hearing is now closed.
Move.
Moved and second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you very much. Mr. Tullis is not. Did we out last week?
He would get a copy of
Executive session.
He would get a copy of the case.
Okay, he told me your copy. Okay, good. We have a motion that an executive session is warranted pursuant to 3625A 7A6 Alabama Code for discussion with attorneys of a purchase, sale, and exchange of property.
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
And I would like to amend the motion for that executive session to start at 10:30.
Executive session will start at 10:30 and last approximately how long?
15, 20 minutes
15 to 20 minutes with no action to be taken
at that time, correct.
at the end.
I'll second the amendment.
Okay, so the second, the amended motion, all in favor say aye. Aye. So we're good with that. We will begin an executive session at 10:30. We will recess at the end of the executive session with no action to be taken. That's it. Okay.